Well, DePaul, I thought we did a great job the first half defensively, and then the second half we didn't really have an answer. After being okay the first 5 or 6 possessions, I think we only stopped them twice in the next 14 or 15 possessions. And, we watched them against Marquette the second half, how explosive they can be offensively. And we didn't have an answer, but fortunately we were scoring enough to at least keep the lead, and then we came out of that timeout and executed a couple of things, got it down to Ryan on the block, and he was able to score. And then we tightened up our defense a little bit better the rest of the way. So, credit to DePaul for not quitting and continue to fight, and, a lot of credit to our guys, too, to find a way to finish it off. And it's the 31st game, so it's been a grind, and it's never easy to win on the road at the Big East.
Questions for either Greg or Trey?
Trey, obviously 32 against DePaul on Christmas Day, 21 tonight. What is it about playing DePaul that just maybe turns your shot into?
I just like the atmosphere, like the players and the coaches coming. I feel like it's a very competitive game every time that we play them, whether it be the coaches or just the players talking to each other. And like I said last time, that's what makes it fun. It kind of gets me going a little bit. So, we just kind of got going back and forth today. It was just fun to do.
Yeah, I seen some of that toward the end of the game. Just how much of that maybe fueled you? And I know you can't talk about some things that are said, but what are some of the cliff notes there?
Me and Gibson were just going back and forth. He's very quick. He's very hard to guard in terms of his quickness and things like that. I give him kudos because he came back on the other end, he came and guarded me. So, we were just kind of going back and forth. He stripped me one time, and then after that, we just kind of started chirping a little bit, and then, the rest was just kind of going uphill.
Yeah, and Mac, it felt like to start that second half, DePaul was putting a lot of pressure on the rim. What do you think were the trends there to start the half?
Yeah, we were obviously they were trying to go at Kalk a little, I think, with the foul trouble and try to get a quick third on him. Like I said, they only scored 2 of the first 6, and we were able to stretch it from 15 to 18. I felt like we were in pretty good shape, and then they went on an incredible tear. And Murphy did a great job of getting to the rim. They were setting some back screens after the ball screen. We didn't navigate it very well. I thought there was a couple opportunities to switch, and then there's a couple plays that he really made good plays at the rim against Kalkbrenner. And when somebody does that, you have to tip their hat to him.
Yeah, and only assist for Nembhard, but it felt like for most of that game, he was a constant in terms of just pace, minus the turnover, just pace and controlling the offense when it was pretty nasty early.
Yeah, and a couple of those turnovers were late. But he controls the pace of the game, and I think he really pushes it offensively to get our transition game going, and that's been much better the last 2 games. And we'll need it again in New York to play with that pace. And Trey was terrific, and obviously Frederick King gave us a huge boost off the bench when we were in some foul trouble. For him to come in and he was on the floor when we stretched that lead out in the first half in the last 6 or 7 minutes, and it's a credit to Fred's work and continue to stick with it even on after games when he maybe he's not playing very much, but he was big for us tonight.
Back to that run at the end of the first half, what kind of sparked that in your eyes?
Well, defensively, we did a pretty good job, for the most part in the first half, but especially the end. I think they only scored 2 of their last 10, and we were able to get some inside. We get to the free throw line. Fred had a big, and one on an offensive rebound, and I think R2 had a couple shots in there as well. But I think sometimes when a guy like Kalkbrenner comes out and a freshman goes in, maybe they relax a little bit. And to these guys' credit, they have confidence in Fred. They threw it into him, and he made some plays. They see what he does in practice and know that he's very capable of scoring against just about anybody.
Coach, the Blue Demons fans, they were very loud. This was apparent during the run when we cut the lead to 5. When you took the timeout, what did you tell your players in order to overcome this obstacle?
Yeah, just settle down. Get back to what we're doing defensively. We really made an emphasis for the first few possessions to try to get it inside. They were going at Kalkbrenner at the other end. We felt like we needed to do the same thing on that end. And Ryan got a couple quick baskets and then stretched the lead. Trey hit a big 3 during that stretch as well. That stretched that lead out and gave us a little bit of comfort down the stretch.
And then what was the defensive game plan when it came to Gibson? Because he had an off night, 4 points, and he's one of the tallest leading scorers.
Yeah, I told Trey before the game, make him a 2-point shooter, and he took 14 shots, only 5 of them were threes, and a couple of those threes were really tough. I think Trey blocked one of them. And we lost him a couple times, and we got lucky that he missed. But I thought Trey did a really good job of running him off that three-point line, navigating the ball screens, and making his shots as difficult as possible. He's a really good player, and obviously he's had a heck of a year.
Two more. All right.
Thank you.